What a dank sound. What is that? It is over here.
Good morning. How are you doing? To cloud. Nickelflix, what's going on?
What a dank sound. What is that? It is over here.
Wake up. Oh fuck, the market's open. What? Are we late today? Shit, let's get into it then. No time to waste. All right, a couple of disclaimers before we start off. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. I'm just a trader trading my own shit. For all the tools I'll be using on stream, they can be found on the bapigindicator.com website. These guys make the best mathematics-based indicators on TradingView. So get away from those triangles and crazy RSI readings and do yourself a favor and check them out. They do have a bunch of free indicators available as well. I actually use those as a part of my trading. They're not better or worse. They're just telling you different market conditions. There's a referral link in the description of the stream as well. And come follow us in Discord. Come hang out, learn new concepts, and ask smart questions. Don't ask just questions, ask smart questions. And come follow me on Twitter as well. I do my best to post occurrences outside of the stream and just generally shitpost. All right, with that, let's get into it. Little Chubb, what's up? How you doing? All right, where's the scene? Here we go. All right, welcome everybody to Friday. The market is open. My apologies for starting a little bit late. Let's take a look at how the indices opened up. Let's actually start off with the US stuff for a change, starting off with NASDAQ, a little bit of a down open. HEP getting pretty damn high, so the volatility is picking up still, getting pretty extreme, not at 100 yet, but getting pretty damn close at 93. If we look to the longer term stuff, especially the weekly, we got plenty of room here over a long period of time. This can take us into the end of 2022, the start of 2023 for this HVP to pick up all the way to 100. We are currently sitting at 60, but overall, lots of room to go. If the week closes like this, it's literally within the first expected move. So you did have a 70% chance of closing the week below 15,076 and above 14,398. I think I actually posted about this on Twitter at the start of the week, giving you the probabilities for the weekly. Let me see. Yes, I did, but for Bitcoin, not for the US strat. So we'll see how Bitcoin fared throughout this week. Let's actually come back to NASDAQ for just 1 second. Currently, we are not out of troubled waters yet, as you are still below the due on the weekly with entropy moving down. Sorry, let me just change the song. Volatility still picking up. Nothing too extreme here on the probabilities either, I don't think. Let's take a look. All right. 6 bars back. Yeah, we did get down to the 1% on the weekly 3 weeks ago. No, 2 weeks ago, excuse me. But currently still within the range, nothing too crazy, somewhere around the 5% mark. So if you are betting short here, that is like betting on 4.32 heads in a row. Can happen, it's just getting more and more unlikely. I would refer to entropy as well as mom for immediate direction stuff, and I would still remain long on volatility throughout the next couple of quarters until the end of this year. We'll see how it develops, but I do think we are in a rising volatility environment. On the daily, not looking good either, with entropy moving down, mom giving you a cross down on the ZMA, ACDC still in the negative, and also Hearst moving towards trend. This is going to be pretty damn important. We saw a similar setup to this with Bitcoin on the daily when we had a little bit of a move down from the top, and Hearst exited mean reversion and started moving into trend, and that is when we got this pretty damn big dump. I think the trend on the Hearst started on the 22nd of November, and it got pretty intense. It peaked on the 12th of January, so giving you quite a while. Still in trend and just exiting into mean reversion now. All right, let's come back to the NASDAQ. Anything else here? No, still within the first expected move for the open. Entropy certainly not looking good here with price below the due. Big changes are expected to the downside. Let's take a look at S&Ps. S&P opened a little bit up here. Still below the due, though, within the first expected move for today, with entropy also moving down. Not a good look at all, especially if we close the day like this. Let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly still a bet on higher volatility, also bouncing off of the do and the first expected move as well. Not what you want to see. Let's see how Friday closes. Hopefully it will be better than not, but my hopes personally are not too high. I know, like, please don't take this as trading advice, because it's not. We're just looking at markets, trying to form general opinions. If there's a trade on the table, I'll do my best to outline it as something statistically extreme and sort of bet around that. But in terms of just observing the markets, there are some things happening on the more fundamental side. I know that the CPI print came out yesterday. Everybody's covered it to death. It's the highest CPI ever. Buy Bitcoin, buy gold, buy everything, because everything is going to get more expensive. And actually, it's been my view. It's not even my view. At best, I'm repeating this view from other people, that generally speaking, CPI calculations changed based on whatever narrative they want to produce. Like, if they want to calculate some stuff this week to show a higher inflation, they will do that. And also, they don't calculate inflation in the monetary sense. It's not like, you know, the supply of money changed, so therefore we get inflation. It's like prices went up. What's the CPI core price index, which is a general metric of inflation, although they don't really measure anything inflating. They are just measuring general changes in price, and changes in price can happen for all sorts of reasons. Like, if there were 20 consumer price index, if there were, you know, 20 cows for sale yesterday and there are 10 cows for sale today, and demand stays the same, well, prices of cows is going to go up. But nevertheless, I digress. The point that I'm making is there are some things that we should be aware of from a more macro perspective. One of them being the high yield corporate bond ETFs. The liquid junk and the HYGs have been moving down for quite a while, and actually we see rising volatility. This is on the HYG, entropy moving lower and drift going negative. This is just a very quick kind of what would you say? It's a very quick way to observe this. I'm obviously not looking with all of the tools here, but from what we have on here, not looking good. And we've seen this this issue happen before. Generally, when there aren't enough dollars in the system to service the debt, and it's worse for the companies that don't actually make anything, right? For the companies that are just relying on lower and lower interest, you know, when dollars get tight, when there aren't enough of them moving through the economy, and they owe a lot of money and they have very low credit rating, so they actually pay a significant amount more interest. We see these instruments kind of blow up. We saw it during the Rona dump. I think some of these came out only in 2008. We did see about in 2015 that I don't think we saw too much in the markets in 2015. Let me take a look at the S&P here. Now, I'm not making the point that one causes the other, but I'm making more the point that, hey, we should be aware of it, and maybe even look further into the CPI calculation and actually try to figure out how many dollars there are. I know that's a gigantic task, but if nobody's willing to do it, that must mean that there's some opportunity to actually doing it. In 2015, we saw a little bit of a bout in the markets, and of course 2008 was the big one. With these bonds coming out in 2007, I think it is on here. Yeah, it is on here. So some trouble in the money markets. Also, from the rates perspective, we haven't done anything crazy in the rates, even for such a crazy metric like 7%. Like, if you think about it, it's what, highest inflation since the 1980s, I think. And bond yields are where they were in 2015, especially for the long end. The long end hasn't done much. I know the short end is more responsive to Federal Reserve policy, to Fed words, let's call them, which is actually setting us up for yield curve inversion. Because what they've done is they've effectively raised the short end of the curve, and the long end of the curve hasn't moved with it. So this is kind of, it's not so much discounting the words of the Fed on the long end so much as it is just not giving them much value. It's just not giving them much value. This is where most of the people will, well, maybe I shouldn't say that. That's not a metric that I have. but we are getting closer to a yield curve inversion, at which point CNBC and all the rest of the macro guys will start screaming that we are in that we're ready for a recession or something along those lines. So keep an eye on that narrative going forward, and keep an eye on rates, because that'll be hugely important. All right, let's take a look at enough words. Let's take a look at some trading shit. All right, let's take a look at the S&Ps. Still below the due. Entropy still moving down. ACDC has gone negative. Mom, I'm assuming, has given you a cross down. We'll let that load in. Yes, it has. It's giving you a cross down from the green zone. We are expecting the big changes in price to come to the downside. Some room on the HVP, and Hearst exiting significant mean reversion. And actually, we were talking about the VRT as well, suggesting that there is some sort of inefficiency here that is likely to be traded away. It looks like we've traded that away right here already. The market is now in a random walk, or is likely to be in one. How do you stay disciplined, dude? In what sense? Have you seen my sleeping schedule? I don't think I'm necessarily a good person to go for discipline. It's something that I'm working on myself. How do you like go to bed on time and shit? Usually whenever you're in a situation where you have to convince yourself of something, this is my trick. Whenever I have to convince myself of something, like going to the gym or going to bed, I just stop thinking about it and I do it. And that seemed to have worked for me, although I'm not by any means an authority on this, because I break all the time. If you're not disciplined, you will blow up. True. Although with the markets, you know, most of the time, like this is the great part about trading math-based stuff, is that like you have a set of criteria, and it's very clear when you have a setup of some sort. It's not like I'm changing, you know, oh, this time I looked at the 20 EMA and this time I looked at the RSI and like this and that. It's like, no, like there's shit that I'm used to trading, like probability, and then there's shit that you know, most of the time there's shit like where you just want to own an asset and forget about it. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, oh, I checked the math today. Great. Anonymous gifter, thank you for the tier 1 sub. Much appreciated. All right, let's take a look at the crypto stuff. How are we doing? A little bit of a down start to the day, still within the first expected move. 70% chance we close between 41,953 and 45,013. And let's actually take a look at the weekly, because I did post the weekly probability on Twitter. Still within the first expected move, and this was the call at the start of the week. Obviously, we have until Sunday. Hey, 70% chance that we close the week between 39,209 and 46,898. And actually, I do have on the expected move real time on, so these numbers have changed a little bit, but still within that first expected move currently. Fantastic. Fantastic. If there were options with premium left on them at those strikes, you had a 70% chance of success on that. Let that transfer over to me effect on women, and I'll be happy. Good luck, my friend. All right. How about we see a pump on Facebook? Yeah, we were looking at Facebook yesterday, but let me finish off with Bitcoin here and crypto in general, and then we'll move over into some stonks. Okay, still volatility on the daily extremely low, with QCV picking up and Hearst being in mean reversion. So likely volatility incoming over 60, 120 days, 30, 60, 120 days, something like that. We'll have to wait and see how that develops. Keep an eye on the Hearst. I do have mine set on the 365-day sampling period. When we go into trend, this will be pretty damn important, and we don't hang around mean reversions for very long on this setting. So unlikely to, well, maybe I shouldn't say it. We can. we can't hang around in mean reversion for very long. It's not like there's a defined period of time, but just an observation from the previous mean reversion segments, we haven't been here for long at all. So we'll see if that continues to be the case or not. All right, but that will be pretty damn important, because last time that took us from nearly the all-time high all the way to where we are now. Okay, let's take a look at the shorter term stuff as well. How are we likely to fare today? Probably a down day as long as you are below the due. Currently still within the first expected move for the daily. That's fine. HUP getting pretty intense on the hourly at 92. So not much room to go on volatility expansion here. Likely cools off for the next well, we'll wait to see if there's some sort of extreme here, and then we'll call it from that point. It can persist for an undefined period of time. Usually what I would do is wait for the HVP to go below the MA, and then make the assumption that volatility will start to cool from here on out. All right. Anything else that's crazy here? No, not really. Not here. Let me. Hearst is currently in trend. Let's take a look at Ethereum. How are we doing on the daily? Also within the first expected move, still above the due. The big changes in price are expected to the upside on the daily. The thing of note here is the HVZ. It's been moving lower, still has some room to go until the lower band, but I think we are getting closer and closer to a spike of volatility. We'll keep an eye on that. Also, there is some sort of inefficiency in the market. The market is unlikely to be following a random walk, and this is likely to get traded away over the next week or so, so do keep an eye on that as well. In terms of probabilities, how are we likely to finish the week? 70% chance we close the week between 27.30 and 35.69 for this week. So still within the first expected move, but still below the due. And that is the big challenge here for Ethereum and crypto markets in general. If we close below the due on the weekly, we will still expect the big changes in price to come to the downside. Certainly won't be a good look, and this is consistent with most of the world indices as well as the US stuff, and especially the Nasdaq, which is not looking so hot at all. You like the Friday playlist? Hey, good. I'm happy you like it, because it's royalty free music. That's very rare. All right. What do we want to look at? Did anything crazy happen in the indices? Maybe we'll take a look at some big massive movers. Not much, except for Russia being the big story. Selling off of the due again on the weekly. Holy fuck. Entropy still depressed. Can we go over inflation? Yes, we can go over inflation. I don't have any good charts about that other than the bond chart. Bond chart. We can actually take a look at maybe some videos that I use, some resource that I use in order to form opinions on what inflation means, how we should look at it in general. I'm more than happy to share those resources with you, because again, I'm no professional on inflation or the bond market. At best, I'm repeating what somebody else has said. But I found their views to be convincing. And I've gone from an extremely, what would you say, linear perspective of like, the Fed goes burr, so therefore buy gold. That's kind of the Peter Schiff's shtick, but kind of progressed to a more nuanced argument, which is what I was looking for. All right, on Russia, HVP is at 100, extremely high. Betting on volatility expansions is not a good bet here, in my opinion. Probably better to wait for this to start cooling off and then bet on some sort of drift, or even like this is a prime market for selling, or it's going to be a prime market for selling options soon. When Hearst is trending on your super favorite shitcoin and it's dumping, it feels more like a Hearst. Yeah, absolutely it does. I'm assuming the IV rank here is pretty damn high. I should get onto a Russian exchange. I'm probably one of the only people here that will have access to such things. and try my hand at shorting some rubles. All right. Anything crazy in currencies? No, not much. I do want to take a look quickly at USD ruble. Up 1.18% today. Crazy volatility here too at 98, alongside the Russian markets currently below the due, with entropy moving down as well. All right, let's take a look at some trads. What should we look at? Let's take a look at Facebook. Let's take a look at Tesla. Let's take a look at gold, and then we'll do some inflation stuff, and we will try and spot some opportunities. Oh, also, I don't know if Weebos is here. I was mentioning this yesterday. I don't think you'll have options on this, but ICOA has been on his list for quite a while. He turned me onto it. I ended up just buying some as a buy and hold. I don't know if you can structure a bet in volatility, because OTC I don't think has options, but HVP is extremely low and seems to be rising, currently at 1.1, so likely some opportunity coming up here in ICOA for a big, massive move. My hope is up. My hope is up. We will see, though. We will see. All right. Let's take a look at Facebook. This is Meta. So we saw a pretty crazy extreme in Meta, similar to what we saw in Netflix with the big gap down. Of course, according to Smintz, all gaps must be filled. But we saw some extremes here. One being on volatility. This is at 99.73, basically 100. Betting on further volatility expansions here, not very worth it. We also saw another extreme in probability. This makes sense for myself for a play, something like selling covered puts, or even just selling puts in general. I think that's a pretty decent way to go. You might look from price level for people that buy calls, you know, they might, what would you say here? They might suffer in the short term, which is why I think selling puts makes more sense. Well, first of all, we got the data from Tasty Trade, which showed that selling puts, first of all, is a lower buying power requirement, and also you just get crazier percentages on the returns. Let's go 7 bars back. And you have theta working for you when you sell puts. And if theta is working for you, yeah, this got to a crazy probability actually. If theta is working for you, you might not be as inclined, you know, to change this position around if you held calls and were betting just on price where theta was working against you. Let's go back 32 bars, just make this a little bit clearer. You were big on Rivian when it first came out. Yeah, I was. I have a Cybertruck reservation that I had for almost 2 years now, and just decided to look more into Rivian's SUV last week with 7,500 Fed tax credit. It's pretty damn appealing. Yeah, the trucks that I saw looked way better than the Cybertruck. They look way better than the Cybertruck. I don't know what their production capacity is. Obviously, nowhere close to Tesla, but nevertheless, I like their product way better than the Cybertruck. Yeah, the stock did dump pretty hard from the start. I'm pretty happy I didn't buy it, but it was never a trade. It was more to just add to a portfolio and own it and take the hits when they come, and maybe even buy more on those. So currently, if you are betting short here on Facebook, extremely unlikely at 0.13. That's like getting 9.5 heads in a row. Can that happen? Yes, absolutely. Is it likely? No, not really. And especially with a covered put strategy, you can work it out so you don't have to take delta risk. And I think those will have pretty elevated IV ranks. Let's actually take a look at Market Chameleon quickly to see what the IV rank 30 is. Facebook. Yeah, IV 30 rank is at 96%. So pretty damn nuts. Pretty damn nuts. Those options will have a lot of juice on them. Nice. Oh my god. Everything just disappeared. What have I done? All right, how is Netflix doing? Very similar play. I think they had earnings as well, and then they dumped off. So something like this, you know, you went way outside of the probability. You had very high volatility. You ended up coming back within range. Nothing too crazy on it now, but the IV rank being so high on something like this, and also being outside of the probability, that makes it a very, very juicy play for selling puts and cover puts as well. The SUV looks better than the truck in my opinion. There's something weird about how the back half of the truck just doesn't look right to me. Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I liked it. I didn't like the Cybertruck at all. I thought that thing looked fucking dumb. And also, Elon Musk has this thing of promising shit, and then it takes like 5 years, and then when it comes out, the quality control issues are fucking horrendous. Like, the amount of Teslas I've seen burnt down or do something crazy because of their autopilot is just nuts. All right, let's take a look at Tesla actually while we're here. But I'll suck your dick on autopilot. It's crazy, man. You got a point. You got a point. Where's the Roadster? Yeah. Also, where are like the robo taxis that were promised, and the autopilot that's supposed to be like for real autopilot, not like, you know, drive you into a pole autopilot. Like, shit is not where it's. He's a fucking fantastic money raiser and marketer. The fact that he's got people simping for him is pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts. Cybertruck's shape was dumb as fuck. I was willing to look past it because the dual motor was like 50k. The robotaxi's meant to be like a ride-sharing thing. Yeah, you know, it's just, the problem is that you like promise it, and then you say you're gonna do it in like a year, and then it just doesn't get done at all. You know, it's like, great. I just had this argument with my culty Tesla friend. It's wild how many excuses they'll make for the blatant line. Yeah, that's what I mean, man. It's like a simp world, you know. It's like, no, he's never wrong. You know, like, that's not what he meant. They're words. There's this Chinese company who has done this in the Netherlands now. Wow. It's probably like Didi or something. Unc was the only one who knew Elon was a fucking dumbass. It's fucking crazy though. What's that Alibaba guy who got kidnapped and then he released like a video that he was okay? The Chinese guy. He was talking with Musk, and he was even dumber. Jack Ma, that's it. And he was even dumber. He's like, yeah, I think human is way smarter than computer. Like, what? Okay, guy. No, it's weird. It's weird how many how many dumb people become billionaires. It's like, I don't know. There's always outliers. I just came back from Mars. I'm not interested yet. Fuck. All right, Tesla. Not too much here on the first expected move for within the first expected move for today. HEP at 73 with HVZ being this slow. Likely see a volatility spike come in next week. Did my puts just print? Something just printed. Nice. The big changes in price are still expected to the downside as long as price remains below the due and HVZ starts spiking. We likely get another move down in Tesla, so do keep an eye on that. Not a favorable environment for Delta traders, but we do have first now going into trend on this move down. Not a good look for Tesla on the daily. Let's take a look at the weekly. Yeah, below the due within the first expected move for the week. But over time, over 2022, likely to be a volatile year for Tesla as HEP is at 64 for this week. That pussy had high kurtosis before the lucky fucks were born. Fat tails present, man. Fat tails present. Yo, wait, what the fuck did that guy in Discord say to us? I still can't get over that. He was like, I used qualitative kurtosis in order to dollar cost average better. It's like, bro, read one description. It's not that fucking difficult. I don't know what it is with people. I don't know why they don't want to just spend the time and study just a little bit. Kurtosis to DCA. Yo, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh my god. Man, good times. good times. All right, VIX. VIX is going to be pretty damn important as well. Entropy on the VIX moving down. Price is currently above the due, so the big changes are expected to the upside, which would coincide with more downside for the trads. We'll see how the weekly finishes on this. For this week, within the first expected move, man, gotta love the expected moves on the weekly. Bouncing off the first expected move to the downside, yet 70% chance of closing the week above 2018. Nice to see those probabilities working out. Powerful stuff. All right, let's take a look at gold too. Why not? We've been expecting volatility in gold for quite a while now. HEP still very low at 9. HPC still has some room to go towards the bottom band, but not much. The lower we go here, the more likely a spike in volatility, with the big changes in price expected to the upside. Also, we see entropy ticking down. As long as this persists, this will be a favorable environment for Delta traders. We are looking for significant changes in price with entropy. So you definitely want to be trading in a declining entropy environment, not a rising entropy environment. Nice for a move up in gold as long as that persists. Is Marky here? Let's take a look at Ohm. Let's take a look at Ohm and let's take a look at time. No, this isn't the best we can do, is it? Maybe Geom, maybe Ohm Frax. Where do we get the most data? Yeah, Ohm Frax. Ohm Frax does seem to be the case. So we did see Ohm get to a pretty crazy probability. Actually, do we even have that? No, we have to change the sampling period on that, but I'm assuming it's well outside of the probability there. Obviously, with an asset that is new, we won't have much data to go on. We can change the sampling period, but it'll be accurate for that sampling period. In general, when you're trading, this is something that Anton was mentioning. You don't want to fit the tools to the trade. Like you don't want to have a bias and then fit the tools so that they fit the bias. You kind of just want to make a hypothesis and then use the tools to test that out. So that's why you don't see me changing sampling very often on something like this. I'll just say, hey, not enough data. Maybe on the shorter term time frames, we will get some more info. Let's take a look here. Yeah, we do see a pretty crazy skew on the cone. Change this back. And actually getting well outside of the 1% probability to the upside. Let's maybe get... Yeah, getting nearly to the 0.1%. If you are betting along here on an hourly basis, you are betting on getting 10 hits in a row. Over time, this can definitely change over. Let's see what other tools we have here. Nothing too crazy on volatility at 56, could really go either way, and not following a random walk here on the VRT. All right, some craziness going on in chat. Holy fuck. Come on, guys. We're speed running the band here. All right, let's take a look at time too. Are the funds Sifu? It's Wonderland, right? Yeah, I think it's Wonderland. No, we had better once, right? 1 divided by a YVAX time times time USDT. No, times AVAX USDT. I haven't checked time in so long that I've forgotten how the ticker works. Here we go. P42 for time. Holy fuck. Not looking so hot. Not looking so hot. How far did this went from like 9k? Holy shit. To 342. Do we have volatility metrics here? No, we don't. Let's take a look at the shorter stuff. Where we get 8 hour. Yeah, over here on the 8 hour, we saw a extreme in volatility and in probability, I'm assuming, as well. So if you were betting on volatility expansions from this point on, not a very likely bet. Volatility seems to be cooling for the time being. I would say that will be the case until we get to another extreme, and then we can gauge it from there. Currently at 44 on an 8 hour basis. The problem is that time token is depreciated. You got to use W memo. Oh my god. So this isn't even correct. This is look at the market cap too if you can. Can we do this on TradingView? No, we can't. Let's look at CoinGecko. Oh, you mean market cap for the total? Or you mean market cap for time? Lil Chubb. He's even posting links. This is what I want to look at. All right, let's see. Why do I want to look at this instead of... Is it just because the number's higher? The token is no longer rebasing. All right. All right. Well, so time memo is depreciated. Okay, I got you. I got you. I would assume the volatility metrics are relatively the same. And my bet here would be that still lower volatility for the time being. Yeah, they just changed the names to get the new Ponzi going. Alright, let's see the market cap for it. Oh, what is it? Wonderland? Wonderland, where everybody is poor. Alright, so this is the market cap. Holy fuck, dude. What happened here? What happened? It was so good until it wasn't. Is this when Sifu was discovered? Crazy. All right, ACI LU. Let's take a look. Wonderland is still better than ever. True. True. Oh my god. All right, let's take a look at ACI and LU. Albertson's companies. Who the fuck is Albertson? Nice play. Currently HEP at 71. This is pretty recent, isn't it? Yeah, relatively recent. We don't have much on the probability side. Nice play on the calls. The big changes in price are expected to the upside. Some room to go on volatility. Looks like HVZ is picking up here. Probably the big changes in price do come to the upside. Nice. Mom turning up on the ZMA as well. Well done. Let's take a look at LU. Oh, and we got Weebos. Weebos, what's up? We got Weebos companies to cover as well. Lufax. Yeah, fuck, holy shit. Nice. QCV now turned up. Pretty damn easy to manage on that, even with the calls. I don't know your positions on this, but nevertheless, you do have that in your favor. SSR getting close to the outer band here. If this does go outside of the band, and where it is now, generally, this move is unlikely to persist for a very long time, but nevertheless, nice catch. Nice catch. Oh, this is on the 8 hour. This is on the daily. About the same. About the same. I guess stocks do have 8 hours to trade. All right. ETH on the weekly. Let's take a look. So we did cover this at the start, but the things to be cautious of on Ethereum weekly is the due. It is the due. Also, QCV likely to go for a cross up here. Not this. Well, maybe this week. I don't know. We have to wait and see for this occurrence to happen, but that will be on my radar going forward. What else? Not too much on the SSR. It is not above the mid band, so not a big massive move. On the weekly, on the daily, it's messing around with the mid band here. Volatility still likely to expand. The big changes in price on the daily are expected to the upside. Let's take a look at total as well. Yeah, very similar. Likely HVP expansion. HVZ seems like it started to pick up. Anything else that's crazy here? No, not really. Still below the due, so the big changes are expected to the downside on the weekly. Within the first expected move, very similar to Bitcoin. On the daily, keep an eye on the HVZ. If it does get to the bottom band there, the assumption will be that volatility will be incoming. We've seen the HVZ kind of hang around here. Nothing too specific here. Can hang around for 21 bars, can spike almost immediately, so it just as it comes. We don't get really a choice in that, but the assumption you can make when HVZ is on the bottom band is that likely volatility in the near future. How's the Nasdaq doing? Yeah, a little bit of a down day, still within the first expected move. On the hourly, still below the due. Man, the due is so fucking powerful. Still below the due with big changes in price expected to the downside. Let's take a look at some of the Weebos picks. What did you post in the streaming channel? RCM, Silu, Gure, LZ. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go on the daily. Yeah, nice. I'm assuming you went off of the QCV cross up. Very, very well done. Big changes in price expected to the upside. Volatility pretty damn high at 93. Let's take a look at the weekly maybe. Yeah, weekly still has room to expand on the volatility here. From a daily perspective, they have earnings coming up. Maybe not a bad bet to make on this is for me personally. You know, I haven't learned the earnings plays from the Tasty Trade guys, but it seems like volatility will either come in or it won't. So maybe if you size the trade right, there's probably a decent bet here on a binary event, maybe doing some delta neutral play on long options. Let's take a look at Silu. Yeah, QCV turned up as well. Big changes in price expected to the upside. Volatility getting pretty intense. Some room to go with 86 read here. Also, earnings play comes up. Earnings play is coming up on the 2nd of March. Oh, major event will be happening on the 1st of March, the State of the Union. I think the US is probably likely to flip against the COVID restrictions. I know Dems have been getting pretty trashed in the polls, so they're probably going to open some shit up or do some sort of stuff that's more popular. I don't know how Russia will play into that. I know the narrative's kind of been getting more heated. Also, Biden today came out saying that the US citizens should get out of Ukraine because, very much like Afghanistan, they won't come and rescue you if we end up going to war. So not fun times. Not fun times at all. For Silu, SSR, keep an eye on this too. Powerful stuff. Getting close to the upper band, suggesting this move is unlikely to persist in this fashion. Let's take a look at gear. Okay, this is a pretty decent one here. This OTC? No, this is not OTC. Next 30, 60, 120 days, a likely volatility expansion here. HVP pretty extreme. Was printing zeros, now at 5.75. HVZ climbing and QCV turned up. Currently in trend, you have entropy on your side. For timing, if you are looking for longs, maybe wait for the mom ZMA to flip. That's gonna be one boring fucking speech. Yeah, he might even fall asleep. He might talk himself to sleep. We'll have to wait and see. Nice. This is a nice find. Currently, big changes in price are expected to the upside. For a little bit better timing, I would probably wait on the CMA. There's also a volatility play here on the table if you want to be delta neutral. Nice find. Nice find. And you will have options on Gulf resources. Well done. And let's take a look at LZ. You also found Zers, didn't you? Nice. SSR above the mid-band here, suggesting possibility for a big massive move. QCV also turned up. Nice. We don't have volatility metrics on this. Let's take a look at maybe some shorter stuff. No. 1 hour is pretty damn low at 14. Big changes price expected to the upside. Nice. Nice find. Like visiting my grandmother in the home. Yes, exactly. Only, you know, a little bit more dementia. I don't know. I shouldn't shit talk. I'm very biased here, okay? I'm sitting over here in my Russian sauna. I'm gonna be making fun of the American president. FSB approved. Alright, let's... Fuck. Oh, words. Okay. Okay, what else can we look at? This probably not yet. I haven't done enough homework on this stuff. Let's take a look at TLT. So if there is any credence to rates going higher, it's probably the way TLT is currently situated. What guns do I have? None yet. I have my dog, but it's very little. The gun licensing process here is extremely difficult. And it's not only difficult, it also takes a very long period of time. The way it works is you have to do a bunch of tests, right? Like your psych test, your drug test, and then you get access to a certain type of firearm. Well, I think it's shotguns. I think it's like double barrel or something like that. It's some gun that's like less effective, let's say. And then you have to use that gun for, I think, a year or maybe 3 years, and then you can get more guns. I thought everyone just opened. Well, here's the thing about Russia is that it's pretty fucking chaotic. Like there are a lot of people who just don't give a fuck about laws, and so they carry like weapons, but it's not good. it's not like it's trouble free. They'll certainly, you know, like the jail sentences here are pretty fucking rough. I don't know why people want to fuck with it. You've seen the stop a douchebag stuff, right? Yeah, I have seen those guys. Those guys are pretty funny. Yeah, that's what I mean. It's fucking chaotic. Honestly, driving here is crazy. Literally, the only rule in driving here is if there's a space there, I can go there. And if you don't go there, then you're a bad driver. That's how it works. We have so many fucking accidents. How about sawed off? Yeah, I mean, you could just make a sawed off. Just fucking chop the thing off. Then they put massive stickers across their windshield. Yeah, they're not very popular here. They're not very popular here. Big Digi would love the jails. Well, if you like, you know, minus 40-degree weather and extremely hard labor, then be my guest. All right, how are we doing here? All right, let's do a quick little recap, and then I will let you guys go. Next week, some changes are coming. We are going to be moving over to Delta. There is a brand new tool from the amazing VA Pig team that they've let me have a sneak peek at, and I will be doing my homework this weekend in order to get used to it, see what assumptions can be made on it. So good stuff incoming on Monday. Let's do a quick little recap here. Bitcoin still within the first expected move for the day. For the weekly, things to take note of is where we close: below the do, above the do, hopefully above, and we can become moon boys. But I don't have high hopes for that. 70% chance we close this week below 47,473. Not much time to find out. Let's take a look at Ethereum. Also within the first expected move. 70% chance we close below 3,569 and above 2,730. For the S&Ps, if we close like this, we will have a close below the do, so the big changes in price will continue to be expected to the downside. Also, Mom ZMA gave you a cross down, not a good look. Let's see how this thing closes. And SSR is fucking around with the mid-band there. Not a good look all around, actually. Not a good look all around. Maybe I can get more data on the SPX. Yes, I can. Still not a favorable environment for Delta traders from an entropy perspective. Anything else that's crazy here? No, not really. Still within the first expected move. So do keep an eye on that. I will update the probabilities for next week on Twitter. I think it will be of importance what happens with the HYG, LQD, and the JNK ETFs. I think if this continues to go lower and lower, there'll be more and more risk of credit blowing up, which would mean probably some crazy actions will be taken by the Fed. I think they just started buying some of the shit outright during the pandemic. So, you know, how much weight do you want to give to the tapering argument when we got shit like this going on? I don't know. I don't think that long-term rates go much higher. But hey, that's an opinion. That's not tradable. That's just wild ass speculation. All right. For the Nasdaq, the worst looking one out of them all, now down 0.57%, 0.5% for today. Things to look out for: entropy still moving lower. QCV gave you a cross up on the weekly. Not a good setup with plenty of room on HEP, currently at 61. 7 rate hikes. Yeah, that's what, who said that? Bullard wanted to move up 1%. That will definitely cause a yield curve inversion. I don't think we have even a percent in there. Where is it? We have 0.215% before the yield curve inverts and all the boomers start yelling recession. Not much. At least between the 30s and the 5s. Not much. No, it's certainly not 7 fucking rate hikes. That's nuts. We'll see. The future is random after all. Still within the first expected move for the week, but overall the big changes in price are expected to the downside. You have a 70% chance of closing today above 14,543 and below 14,867, with volatility getting pretty damn extreme. With that, I'll let you guys go. We got some big things coming next week. I'm excited for the weekend to get a chance to learn. When recession, I either need to buy or build a new house. I don't know. Ask Mints. It's like every single month is recession month. We should do something a little bit more nuanced here. We have crazy fucking tools. But in general, as long as this persists, not a good look. Not a good look. If this persists like this, it's recession. We're doing it. We're doing it, boys. With that, I'll let you guys go. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you guys back on Monday. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. I always enjoy it. You guys are fucking hilarious. We'll see you back here next week.